Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and this is the Frontline Changes report for the past 24 hours for the 13th of August 1267, 1267 day of the Ukraine war or the special military operation in Ukraine. So happy birthday to you if your birthday today, and press the like button, subscribe. We are just around 200 plus 200,000. So let's do it. So the first frontline change is over in the Leman Front. So this is Leman, and the Russian forces have entered into ZARICHNE. So these are major developments. So the Russian forces has been geolocated basically over here. So which means that this the Ukrainian counterattack that was rather successful at taking the northern part of Totsky has now entirely been retaken by the Russian forces, and the Russian forces have basically crossed the river and the reservoir, the lake region into ZARICHNE, starting the Battle of ZARICHNE. The advance is around 1.7 kilometers, and yeah, just unfortunately for the Ukrainians, their hard work is all wasted. So that's all from this Leman Front. And the next frontline change after ZARICHNE is over in Maisky. So over in the Bakmok Front, this is Bakhmut. Over in the, and this is Kostyantynivka. Chasivya is over here. West of Chasivya, so this Chasivya, and then this is Maisky. Russian forces have advanced, continuing from where they have captured previously on the 11th. They have advanced further and taking position on the tree line in the south of Maisky. So they are probably heading westward in the direction of Varolubivka. So this is Varolubivka. And so potentially the Russians may be heading directly there, totally ignoring Maisky. Like, no, they might just hold a position here and force the Ukrainians to engage in a skirmish, but the Russians just continue to move on westward. We've seen the Russians did this quite a number of times, bypassing certain settlements. Like, you don't really have to conquer every single thing. No, the enemy will just abandon position when they become irrelevant to the strategic situation. So that's a possibility. The advance here is around 1 kilometer. So there's a 1 kilometer move by the Russians over the Bakmok Front. After Maisky, the next frontline change is over in Patka, over in the northern flank of the Patka Front. So this is Patka over in this area here in the northern flank of the Patka Front over in Patka. We have two frontline changes. So one is based on the geolocation of Russian forces over this position. And this confirms the Russian forces' presence in this sector here, as well as validating some of the Russian claims previously over in the north of Patka. So the Russians have advanced over here. Ukrainian mapping updated further to show that the Russians' front line actually looks like this, along taking some of this entire tree line here as well. So the Russian forces also have advanced over in this sector as well. So the total advance is probably around 1.8 kilometers on average. So this is now confirmed, captured by the Russian forces in the north of Patka. As the Ukrainians probably have a quite strong resistance in this sector here. I would say compared to the other places. So let's see what the Ukrainians going to do, because the Russians do break out west of this position. That situation there is still in flux. Nobody know what the hell is happening. Ukrainian sources, not sources, not my source. The Ukrainian channels on Twitter, certain of them are, and also I think some of the YouTube channels also reflected this information from the pro-Ukrainian side, claiming that the advance by the Russians has been stopped, and then the deployment of the Azov brigade or whatnot, or the reinforcement have managed to stop the Russians' advance. I would say too early to say. I would say the main problem is that if it's just a small group of forces that is punching up north, The deep state UA will have just mapped it as a massive gray zone, you see. The problem is that they actually map it as a firm capture, and that put a lot of things into question, you see. And deep state UA do not attribute captures to the Russians so easily. No, anyone that have followed the war, especially with me, you have would have known that the deep state UA don't attribute Russian captures easily. They try to drag it for as long as they can. The fact that they would just shows some serious problems developing over there. After Petovka, we have frontline change over in the Koma front at Voskresenka. So this is Koma, and then Voskresenka is over here. So Russian forces have captured some grounds around these two areas here. So the map finally loaded. This was Kostyantynivka, and based on Ukrainian mapping, this is by Deep State UA. The pro-Ukrainian mapping have updated to show that the Russian forces have advanced in these two areas here, in the north of Melievka, as well as on the west of Voskresenka. So the Russian forces advanced in this sector. Particularly, the distance here is around 900 meters, 950 meters, advancing west towards Stishneve. So that's all. These are all the sporadic frontline changes around these areas here. And I think there might be one more. So there's one more frontline change. So Koma front is here. This is Koma. And over in the Zaporizhia front, in the Hoyai-Pole sector, over at Melinievka, Ukrainian mapping have updated and eliminated the salient that is being drawn over on the east of Melinievka, showing that the Russians indeed have straightened the front line, consolidated the position. The advance is around 1.2 kilometers. So a lot of sporadic changes here and there, but nothing on the big one, the Russian breakout at Pokrov. We are still waiting for information. Everything is in fog of war, so let's wait and see when it does drop. So we're going to drop do some calculation. The Ukrainians did not capture anything over the past 24 hours as usual. The Russians captured 3.31 plus. So let me wipe that. 1.13 plus 4.1 plus 1.14 plus 1.87. So total area captured by the Russian forces is only at 11.55 square kilometers. This is even smaller than yesterday's 15.76 square kilometers. So there is not a lot of frontline changes being reported in the past 24 hours. And there's only something to report because of the Deep State UA's update that is dropped less than half an hour as per this recording. So anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. Do check out the Pokrov battlefield analysis where I analyze based on what we know, what could happen and what might happen and whatnot, regarding the situation in the north of Patka Front. Otherwise, that's it. Thank you for watching, and also check out the weekly frontline changes frontline history for Patreon only, and I'll see you guys in the next update.